with Byron Allen's HBCU Go with regards to airing SWAC games, but we haven't got any details on what that contract is, which is sort of weird because if you look at the other major conferences out there, not even the major conferences, the mid-major conferences, whenever they sign new television rights deals, they announce the terms, how much they're getting, things along those lines. But also what has been happening when we've seen this, we've also seen this back and forth, and we've seen some drama at Florida A&M, which recently joined the SWAC conference, announcing their athletic director was resigning abruptly, and allegations of whispers coming out that, he had signed deals without university knowledge with regards to with a black-owned media company, Urban Edge Networks. Full disclosure, Urban Edge Networks handles the third-party sales for us, the Black Star Network. And so we want to talk about this here. And one of the folks who's really been breaking this thing down is Scotty, host of OffScript. Of course, you see his YouTube show. Folks, you check it out. He's there daily. He joins us now from Atlanta. And Scotty, this has really been an interesting conversation back and forth because when it was announced that Urban Edge had launched this digital channel with Grambling, gave them their own channel on their app, HBCU League Pass Plus, and they were doing the exact same thing with Florida A&M. Then the SWAC, the commissioner, came out and said that they couldn't do that. They couldn't do any of these things along those lines. You've been talking about this for quite some time as well. So just share with us just what jumps out at you on this whole back and forth with Urban Edge Networks, but then Byron Allen's HBCU Go, and then saying who can and cannot do what when the SWAC's own rules don't necessarily preclude that.
Appreciate you for having me on, Mr. Martin. Big fan. But you're absolutely right. It's a lot of back and forth going on between FAMU, SWAC office, and other HBCUs. But the biggest thing to me is that there's no clarity in whatever the commissioner's saying or what he isn't saying about the actual media deals that ESPN has for exclusivity for the SWAC games. And then on top of that, the secondary rights that these other companies can come in and they can promote and they can sponsor games and do that thing and do those as well.
So let's hold right there. So the SWAC has a deal with ESPN to air SWAC games. As I said, normally, when we look at these announcements, normally we see a big press release where the conferences tout this 5 or 7 year agreement. Has the SWAC ever done that? Do we even know how long and how much the SWAC gets from this ESPN deal?
Negative. I haven't seen a deal. I haven't seen a number. I've always heard the terms of how long it can be. It's usually a 5-year deal, but there's usually no numbers. Any research I've done does not include numbers on what ESPN is actually paying the SWAC. It's probably the most secretive deal that I've ever seen when it comes to TV media deals in a conference in hand.
And here's a perfect example, okay? So this is July 24th, 2018. This is an ESPN press release. ESPN extends agreement with Big South Conference, will become exclusive media holder through comprehensive rights deal. And when you see this, it says in here how long the deal is, how many games they're talking about, all those different things. Now, in their deal, it doesn't say exactly how much, in the press release, it doesn't say how much the deal is worth. But when we've seen other announcements, SEC, Big 12, PACs, other conferences where the terms and the amount was actually released.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But when it comes to the SWAC, it's hushed. It's mum, when you're asking about it, or a lot of schools probably haven't even seen their contracts to even know their percentage of what they're getting back. They were just now getting payouts recently from what the SWAC conference has brought in as a whole. So, the TV deal isn't to the extent of where they're paying out their members to a high level extent, to where you're getting, your Texas A&M grads and SEC getting millions upon dollars. Well, the SWAC they're not necessarily looking for millions, but they're looking for something. And for having a school to get $15,000 or $20,000 payout for 12 people, I mean, That's like tax return money. It shouldn't be happening to a premier program of HBCU football.
And so let's talk here about when we begin to talk about in terms of when you say, what's going on here. So there was this sort of back and forth between the SWAC when Urban Edge Networks announced they were doing this Grambling channel in this Florida A&M channel. So walk us through that.
So the back and forth is this. So when it started, you had FAMU's AD simply saying that they made the announcement. They had a press release saying that, hey, we have now signed with Urban Edge Network, HBCU Leagues Pass. You can catch our games. Then maybe about three weeks to a month later, you hear that the HBCU Go deal is in process or in works with Byron Allen to cover all media content within the SWAC. Well, that doesn't really partner up because you can't, if somebody's already in agreement with one school to have their games, that means whatever HBCU Go is, they have to talk to that school to say, hey, you have this deal with this school. We have this deal with the SWAC. What games are available for us to stream? But then on overarching the whole thing, everybody says ESPN has exclusivity. So it's all confusing. You're saying, okay, so individual schools can stream their own games. Then FAMU goes and gets a media company to stream their games. But then all of a sudden, ESPN is exclusive. There's so much to this triangle and to this love affair of what SWAC can and can't do that there's a little ambiguity in it as well.
So Courtney Gosha was the athletic director for Florida A&M. And abruptly, a couple of weeks ago, it was announced that he was leaving immediately. Like anytime you see that happens, you say, "What, were you fired, or what actually happened here?" And so when that came out, then we start seeing these stories on different blogs where they begin to say, he signed contracts and the university didn't know. A lot of people may have seen the Florida A&M NASCAR car that was wrapped in FAMU's logo, and some of the HBCUs as well. And in fact, and so those were happening. And so what was interesting about that is this, what we saw. And first of all, let's be clear. Florida A&M, to my understanding, and please let me know, they have not actually had a news conference or a statement explaining why their AD all of a sudden is out the door, correct?
Negative. They have not had an official statement or official press conference. But on the same token, this is the reason the documents in the contract was supposed to be the reason why he is being let go, to say he didn't have the authority and he overstepped his bounds to do so. But clearly in this contract, you can see at the top, on your top right, is that's the FAMU president. Underneath of him is the former AD Gaucher, and then the VP of admin. And then next to that, you see Peak Sports Management, which made the deal with FAMU to have the rights to license their image. And that's when you see them on the NASCAR and things like that, because that's really where Urban Edge partnered with. Right here is with Peak Sports. So they didn't have to go through FAMU to do anything. They partnered with Peak. They gave Peak gave Urban Edge the license to do that, and then that's when you have the deal come about.
So I'm gonna walk onto the TV over here. So again, all of this talk that you heard about he negotiate. So Urban Edge signs the deal with Peak.
Absolutely.
Which means Urban Edge didn't have to call FAMU because Peak they control those digital rights. Now you have a collegiate licensing. They actually have signed a deal with numerous HBCUs where they handle the licensing deals as well. So you don't actually have. So if collegiate license, if they already have that, you don't even have to go to the schools. You go to the company that already has a licensing deal. My understanding is that Peak Sports handles the streaming rights for Florida A&M.
Absolutely. And the contract that you have on the screen right now is what we're talking about. You see Larry Robinson, you see Courtney Gaucher, you see Allen Robinson, you see all these entities that have to approve this deal to Peak Sports to even have the say-so to even give their rights over to Urban Edge to allow them to do so.
Now, for the people who, again, who are unaware and who don't quite understand, collegiate licensing, that's actually controlled by WME, which is one of the major talent agencies. And every single one of these HBCUs pays them based on my reporting, $6,800 a month for licensing. Well, the question is, how much are these HBCUs getting back? Meaning, when you see your HBCU on a cup, on that NASCAR, when you see them on all sorts, that's licensing fees. And so what I have been saying again, a month ago to these HBCU presidents and the boards, you should be asking, if you're Florida A&M, you should be asking Peak Sports, how much money are y'all generating for us when it comes to the deals that you're supposed to be negotiating? Who are you talking to? What's going on? And in fact, so with Urban Edge, by going to Peak, so if Urban Edge is now handling the digital rights, that means that Urban Edge is out there with streaming rights talking to advertisers. Now, pull up, go ahead and show the graphic where the SWAC commissioner said Urban Edge had no right to negotiate. This was a news conference, and this is what he said. Just for your information, SWAC conference games cannot be streamed or broadcasted on a national basis outside of the conference agreements. In addition, member institutions cannot grant permission to other entities to broadcast games either linear or digitally on a national basis. All conference games are restricted and can only be negotiated by the conference office. That was reported by HBCU Game Day. But that's not correct, is it?
That's definitely not, because neither the SWAC bylaws gives the commissioner full autonomy in doing that. There's nothing in the SWAC bylaws, and I did a show about it earlier, that says that he has full autonomy to do this at the SWAC office. Now, they can consult with him, absolutely, but there is no individual deal that says he is the first and say so. And then anything in the SWAC bylaws that says they have to give any deal that is done individually by schools, they have to give 40% back to the school anyway. So if Urban Edge or
no, to the conference, the school keeps 60, the conference gets 40.
Absolutely. So the conference gets 40%, the school keeps 60. So even if so any school that does a great deal for themselves, they have to give the conference 40%.
In fact, here it is. Here it is right here. Go to my iPad. It says any conference member who participates in a national, regional, or sectional bowl game and or a televised contest most will share as part of the television revenue. It says the participating conference institution will retain 60% of the gross and forward the balance of 40% to the conference office for inclusion in the conference treasury. That's sort of confusing there, Scotty.
I just don't understand how the commissioner continually stops or tries to hinder individual media contracts when the money comes back to him regardless. So if FAMU goes out and signs a major publication or a major media deal, which they did with Urban Edge, and they come back and Urban Edge says, hey, we can give you 10 million, we can give you 5 million, we can give you 4 million a year. Well, 40% of that has to go back to the SWAC conference anyway. So the commissioner looks good regardless, because now he's able to help his members out who aren't as able to get a deal like a FAMU, a Jackson State, a Southern, a Grambling, that don't have those big names, and you're still able to pass out money to the lower levels, the lower member institutions who don't have that fanfare as the top blue bloods of your conference.
Now, isn't there a company that handles the streaming rights for Southern University?
Yes, I believe they are Peak Sports, but the thing with them is they're just a platform that likes to. They're just a platform that just holds it for them. They don't really do. Ooh, that's wrong. Sorry, guys. They're just a platform that does it from what it is and what it's not. So they just hold it. They don't really stream it for them.
Okay. So this is why, and I'm gonna pull the panel in because I got 3 lawyers, so I'm sure they've got some lawyerly questions here. But what jumps out at me is, so when you pull up the statement from the SWAC commissioner about games being broadcast where they can't be broadcast.
All right, there you go.
Now, he said conference games cannot be streamed or broadcast on a national basis outside of the conference agreements. But that's not true, because you can literally go right now and see SWAC games on YouTube, on Facebook. Those are national platforms.
Absolutely.
And so if the individual institutions, and here's the other deal. So based upon this statement, what this says is that the schools don't have any right to negotiate the second window when right now Southern has their game streamed with an outside entity, Florida A&M as well.
It goes deeper than that, Mr.
And in fact, just add one more. The Texas Longhorns, when they were in the Big 12, they had a deal with the Big 12, but they were able to negotiate their own network with ESPN outside of the football games, which meant that they put all their other sports on the Texas Longhorn network that had nothing to do with the Big 12 contract, football television contract.
Absolutely. So now you're getting to the nuances of what everybody's trying to say, like what you can and can't do. Well, Alcorn is showing their games on their website. Mississippi Valley, they put their games on YouTube. Alabama State, they put their games on YouTube because ESPN is not broadcasting all their games. So there are secondary rights that are just out there that the schools are already doing in place. I believe the only reason that there's no big issue about it is because they're not getting a very deep amount of money. They're not getting a uber amount of money to have their games on YouTube. They're not getting an uber amount of games to have their games on their own networks, on their own TV, on their own school networks and school shows. So you're kind of in a catch-22 when you're saying, okay, I can only control everything, but then when you look out into the masses, you're not controlling anything.
I'm gonna bring in Monique, Robert, and Scott here, and this comes down to me, Robert, about the money. And what I keep arguing, what I keep saying, what I have been saying to the various HBCUs, to presidents, they should be looking over every single contract and saying, who are we giving our rights to? Who's controlling our likeness? How much are we making? The SWAC commissioner announced what last year was the first time they actually had disbursement. They had been losing money. Here's my whole deal. If you have opportunities to actually, if you're the university, to take your content and to create your own channel, and then, perfect example, when I went to Grambling, Robert, Grambling has a channel on HBCU League Pack Plus. Guess what? Grambling should have been carrying my speech on their channel. They should be looking at everything on their campus as content. That's what they should be doing. Robert, go ahead.
Yeah, on that point, have they compared and this is a question for both of you, have they compared what they're trying to do there in the SWAC and another conference, just shout out to the SIAC, to what's going on, let's say, in the SEC and their deal, or the Big Ten and their deal? Why does it seem like they're trying to reinvent the wheel when the other larger conferences have already done similar things? What is that to the driving force behind them not just copying the models that are working in the bigger conferences?
Yeah, of course. They want to do that, but the reality is the big TV dollars comes with viewership. And if you don't have the viewership, you're not getting that. But one of the biggest complaints from HBCU fans is not just the game. They want to see the halftime. Well, guess what? When you're watching the game on ESPN, they ain't showing the halftime. And so I made the point that if you're at HBCU, why in the hell are you not streaming your own halftime if that's what your fans want to see? And again, here's the other deal. Where are your games being shown on ESPN 1 or 2? The answer is no. So where are they showing their games? On ESPN Plus, a digital streaming channel. So here's the question. How much money are you getting from the ESPN deal? How many people are watching? Are you getting a cut of the ad revenue? Guess what? If you're simply being shown on ESPN Plus and all you're getting is visibility, well, hell, you might as well say, I'll create my own channel. If I sell it to 5,000 of my fans for $4.99 a month, I get all the money. That's what it boils down to. And so this is the thing that I have been saying, Scott, you represent NNPA. Scott, I've been saying this to Black institutions. We have got to begin to operate differently. We often talk about how we don't have this, we don't have that. But Scott, part of this deal also is our Black institutions are not negotiating properly when it comes to the value of our content. And then if somebody offers small money, it's like, well, that's all we can get. No, you can get more. So that's why I said, in terms of, okay, I don't know what the Byron Allen deal is with HBCU Go. Okay, is it $1 million a year? Well, guess what? If it's $1 million a year, listen to it. If it's $1 million a year, you got what, 12 SWAC schools, Scotty?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you got 12 SWAC schools. Well, the conference is gonna get a big cut. So how, at the end of the day, how much is going to the school per year? What, $60, $70, $80,000 per school? That ain't a lot of money. And so what? You're saying that they're going to show all of the SWAC games? You're giving all your content away? Again, it sort of boggles the mind. I just keep saying we've got to be smarter when it comes to how we monetize Blackness. Scott, go ahead.
Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that. I've listened to this conversation.
No, it ain't that complicated.
It really is.
And it really isn't.
Yeah, it really is, Roland. So, for example, knowing your value. I agree with you that institutions, Black institutions, have to know their value. But what's the review? What's the relevant review of your value is viewership and whether people are willing to pay or not.
Only in terms of televising games. I'm speaking, when I say value, I'm speaking of games. I'm speaking of licensing. I'm speaking of revenue that you're generating when it comes to your name and likeness. I'm saying review all of that, because based upon my conversations with various HBCUs, a lot of them don't even know who the hell representing them.
Okay, well, you're right. I don't disagree that they need to be looking at all of that. But at the same time, knowing your value and your viewership, are you arguing that we're not looking at it, or are you arguing that we're not valuing our goodwill and our product enough to be paid a market value?
I'm saying both. I'm arguing both. And what I'm saying is this here. It comes down to the numbers. And that is this. If I strike a deal and this, I don't know whether it's ESPN or Bylaws, HBCU Go, I don't care who it is. And if I, as the school, if this entity has all of my games, not just my football games, all of my basketball, all of my volleyball, all of my baseball, all of my golf, all of my sports, I then got to say, well, wait a minute, how much am I getting overall to get you get all of my content? And I'm saying this here, if I'm getting the school $75,000 or $80,000 for all of that, hell, I should be able to go out and create my own channel and make 100, 150 grand, 200 grand my damn self.
But maybe your market value doesn't make a return mark at 80,000 or 200,000.
Actually, it does, Scott. Scott, all it takes is this, Scott. Scott, I do know it. Scott, I do know it. Scott, I do know it. Scott,
baseball game.
Scott, this is very simple, Scott. If I created, no, Scott, follow me here. No, Scott, I just want you to see the numbers, Scott, because see, that's what it boils down to. If I have an entity and I'm sitting here and I look at my particular entity and I go, okay, well, hold up, I got my games. And if I just go, let's just say I have 1,000 fans, okay, who decide to stream to my own channel, 1,000 fans, okay? That's it. Out of my entire base, if those 1,000 fans say, I want to see Grambling content, Florida A&M content, everything for $5 a month, I'm making 60 grand.
Right.
Hold on, wait, Scott. Just on subscriptions. What I'm comparing is, if I got a deal over here where I'm getting 80 and y'all getting all my stuff, and I can create my own and I'm getting 60, I got a better shot of building my own base to make more money.
I agree with you. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen when you do that. When you walk away from SWAC or HBCU League Pass, hold on, if you walk away from them, not walk away, but when you do it on your own, right? And you're right, and you start making a lot of money, right? If you put up the statement of the SWAC president or the executive director, because that's important. He's not wrong about what he's saying. What he's wrong about and what he's not speaking about is the enforceability of those contractual rights that he espoused on. Is he willing to enforce them?
But
it's not costing him any money. Hold on. And the monies are at a lower level on YouTube and people doing them on their own, and they're not really making a lot of money at it.
No, see, Scott, you stepping,
that's not a lie. He's just not enforcing it.
Scott, you stepping into some areas that you don't know about. That's not true. Follow me here, Scott.
Okay.
Scott, let me just go ahead and put you like this here. This show, damn near did $1 million last year on YouTube.
Okay. What's your point?
That means this show, solely on YouTube, made more money than the whole SWAC conference and their TV deal.
Well, they need you to be the AD for all of those historical black colleges.
But Scott,
entrepreneurship. And by the way, if you made $1 million on YouTube, you need to start paying me and Monique.
No, guess what? Guess what? The expenses. But guess what? Hold up. See right there. See, I love how black people go because you didn't ask how much the overall expenses are. The overall expenses are 2.4. Hold up. The overall expenses. Hold up, Scott. Scott. The overall expenses are 2.4 million. Hello. See, so that's nice and cute. That's nice and cute. But the overall expenses 2.4 minus that 1 still leaves you $1.4 million.
A jacket, maybe? Could I get a jacket and a hat?
Well, first of all, I got your hat over there, and I got it in black and gold. But the thing we're walking through here, Monique, that jumps out. And by the way, I did invite the SWAC folk to the show because I do want them to explain this whole deal. And this is what let's see. I'll blow it up. They sent me here. I'm just gonna read it. It said, "I hope this is from Commissioner McClellan. I hope this email finds you in good spirit." No. They said, hold on. This is from Andrew Roberts, head of communications. He says, "I hope this email finds you well. We are currently out of the office in preparation for the upcoming 2022 SWAC Outdoor Track and Field Championships scheduled to begin tomorrow. We respectfully decline at this time." Okay, that's fine. But I still would love for them to come on because I got a lot more questions because the thing for me, Scotty, let me come back to Monique. The thing for me, Scotty, that still I'm unclear about again is how can the SWAC say you cannot sign outside deals when right now Florida A&M has a signed deal with Peak Sports. Southern University has a signed deal with another company right now. But here you have Black-owned Urban Edge. They come in, give Grambling a challenge, and then say, you can't. I don't understand. I don't understand the difference.
It's because SWAC has...
Hold on, Scott. Scott, I'm talking to Scotty. Hold on, Scott. Scott, chill. I'm going to Scotty. Scott, be quiet. I'm going to Scotty. Scotty, go.
I appreciate it. There is really no difference. This is the thing for me, right? Is that SWAC used to be under the whole Russell deal, right? And now each school is allowed to independently do their own uniforms. So that's okay. So you can make independent deals when it's okay here and there. My thing is, and going back to a point you made earlier, you have to have leverage, right? When you don't have any leverage to ESPN and you're not having anybody else bid for your stuff, you're going to take what you can get. So if you don't have a channel of your own, and I've been preaching this since day one, since I came and I started covering the SWAC, if you don't have something of your own to say, hey, that sounds nice, but we can do bad all by ourselves, then you're just going to take whatever the deal comes to you. So when you have schools like FAMU and Grambling looking to get more out of their brand, because their brand is hot right now. You have Hugh Jackson there. You have Willie Simmons killing it at FAMU. You have Dion down at Jackson State. These brands and schools are hot now. So they want to capitalize on every opportunity. They do not want to get locked in to a 10-year deal. I have a business advisor. His name is Mr. Campbell. He goes to FAMU. He says it doesn't make sense to sign any deal over 5 years because technology changes too fast. So why would you lock yourself into something so long, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and you can't come back to the table and ask for more? So for me, if you're going to allow teams and schools to do independent deals with shoes and Adidas and uniforms and marketing and all this stuff, why does the commissioner have the full autonomy when it comes to media? And in my personal opinion, you want your name in the papers. That's what you want. You want your name in the papers. You want to say, I made this deal, I did this deal. But in the end of the day, everybody wins if FAM and Graham and Jackson State can go out and do their own thing and come back and give money back to the conference.
All right, so I'm just going to play a little bit of this here. And I don't know why Instagram doesn't allow you actually to now blow up your full video. I'm going to play this before I go to Monique. So here's a video of Coach Deion Sanders going to visit Mississippi Valley State, a public university. Play this.
To Mississippi Valley State that I was going to pull up, and guess what I did? Pulled up, surprised my dog. Yeah, met his whole entire staff. I got to kick it with him, talk to him, showed me his training room, showed me the equipment room, showed me all kind of rooms. And then we went out to that place I was injured. I was in the hospital. I wasn't able to make it to this game, but it was a tough game. It was a great game. And he talked to me about some of the trials and the tribulations that they have at Mississippi Valley State, amongst others. And I asked him, where's the practice field? You showed me the game field. What is the practice field? I said, shouldn't it be like right there? He said, no, we have tennis courts there, but I'm going to take you there. I said, what do you mean take me there? It's about a mile away from our complex. So I'm like, is this Children of the Corn or the practice field? Hold on, go back to that. You got to be kidding me. Hold on. You mean to tell me, stop the darn tape. This is the practice field? All right, we got to do something about that. Also, he took me and showed me around the campus, which was a wonderful, beautiful campus. Then he showed me the locker room.
Right, so Monique, we sat there and talked about this. First of all, this is a state school. So the alumni at Mississippi Valley State should be putting pressure on the state to improve their facilities. That's first. Deion said, hey, we're going to sit here. He's trying to get folks to come out, and give money, raise money, which I absolutely support. But you have that as well. This is what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is all this back and forth. Our schools should be in a much better position when it comes to monetizing the content. And Monique, I'm literally talking to people at these schools who don't even know what's in the contracts. Literally. And I'm like, well, I see why you ain't getting no money. Because you don't even know what's in the deals.
But I thought you said you didn't know what was in the deal.
No. That was the ESPN deal. What I'm talking about is, here's a perfect example. Go to my iPad. This is a company that's called CLC. They handle the licensing deals for significant number of universities, I'm talking major schools. So here's a list of their clients. And I'm talking about, like, you just type it in. My understanding, they've got about 20 or 30 HBCUs. So these HBCUs actually pay these folks to actually go out and handle it. So you see, I could type in Florida A&M, and so I could search for them. I could search for others as well. They handle all their licensing. These schools are paying. So when Urban Edge Networks did the deal for the car, where they wrapped a NASCAR car with Florida A&M's likeness, the deal wasn't done with Florida A&M. The deal was done with COC.com. But if you look at the stories that are done about the athletic director being forced out, it's, the university says he was signing deals without their knowledge and they were unaware of this car being wrapped because they didn't have to talk to you. COC handles that stuff. So did brother lose his job? Why did brother actually lose his job when the deal is actually with COC? That's what I'm talking. I'm like, literally, that was some of the stories. And I'm like, wait a minute. He don't handle licensing. This entity that the university decided to do, and it's the craziest thing in the world.
Right, but I wasn't tracking. Or were you taking issue with the HBCU Go TV deal?
No. What I'm saying, first of all, what I'm asking is, how much is the HBCU Go deal? How much does each university
get? What the deal is worth.
No, hold up. Hold up. I'm gonna finish it. How much does each university get out of the deal? And why is the SWAC commissioner saying schools cannot go cut their own deals when they currently are? But why all of a sudden, when it's Grambling in their channel with this Black-owned media company, they can't? It's totally confusing. And Scotty has called other schools. I've reached out, and no one has actually seen the deal. And these are state institutions. Right. So it's like,
well, I mean, no one meaning maybe their lawyers have seen it and they're saying to their people, none of your business.
Well, first of all,
I don't know nothing.
First of all, as a state institution, you can't say none of your business because it's public information. I'm saying
as a lawyer, I'd be telling them the deal's not unwrapped because it's effective fall 22 season, right?
Scotty, correct me if I'm wrong, the SWAC announced the deal, correct?
With the HBCU.
But it's effective fall 22 to 23 season.
Yeah, but they've announced the deal, which means when you announce it, you signed it. Go ahead, Scotty.
So that's a little catchy because it was a press.
I'm coming back to you, Monique. Just hold on. Scotty, go ahead.
There's a press release for HBCU Go, but there's nothing confirmed that they have gone with the deal. But what they have signed is a previous ESPN deal, and that deal, most people at institutions have not read the ESPN contract that they currently have with the SWAC. That's the problem that I have. Nor have the numbers came out, Miss Monique, nor have they read or understand the terms of the money being divvied through the contract.
That's fine. Okay, that's fine. But we're dealing in a few different issues. As of March, whatever that date was, when I tried to do my homework to know what I'm talking about the SWAC, the commissioner was on the press release that announced and confirmed the deal. The deal is effective fall 22-23 season. Because we haven't seen the deal, what we don't know is whether it is now the case for the 12 members that they have agreed to exclusivity and they don't have any other rights with respect to any other deals. Now, what I was asking Roland, because to me this is relevant, is if we have a problem with this Black people and Black people deal in which they get more exposure together than they would on their own, because I just believe even if I had 1,000 followers of my own, I have on some platforms a lot more than that. But if I had an opportunity to partner with an upstanding Black business like Black Star Network that has more followers than I do, I'm thinking Roland wouldn't say, no, we don't want your business. Start your own, because you can have your own and you can go with your 1,000 followers and you can make your own money. It might be that me and Scott and Robert and whoever else, we'll pull in Tiffany, Avis, however many people, and we'll collectively have, I don't know, 100,000, 200,000, maybe 1 million people, and we would partner with a network. And so I'm just trying to find out why that's wrong.
No.
What we really want is the details of the deal to ensure that as Monique comes in the deal, I'm getting my fair share because I received government funds and therefore I have to show everybody my underwear.
No.
It's because I get it.
No, Monique. No. Here's what we're trying to understand. We're trying to understand, how does ESPN supposedly have exclusivity, but then you've done a deal with HBCU Go, but then you say, but Urban Edge Networks can't do a deal when literally your own rules don't preclude member institutions from having their own channels. The second thing is, how does the SWAC control all of a university's content and all of their sports? I'm making the comparison, Scotty, to, again, the Texas Longhorns. The television deal for their football games was with the Big 12. The Big 12 didn't even show all of their games. One of their games, which an irrelevant game, was placed on the Longhorn Network, but they put basketball games and others. So the thing here that we're also asking is, again, what does the schools, what rights do they have, and how are they conflicting with the conference? But the conference is claiming, and you showed it, the conference says we control all athletic games, when that's actually not the case. Scotty, go ahead.
My thing is, how can you make a contract with exclusivity with all 12 schools when another school is in another contract? That contract can't even go through, because you're promising something that you can't bargain on, because you haven't talked to Grambling to even see what Urban Edge won't sponsor. So you can't have all exclusivity or all secondary rights, because you haven't even talked to Grambling to say, hey, this is the games we want to have. And then how is HBCU Go ain't national? Like, who over here talking about let's go on HBCU? HBCU Go and Urban Edge Network are literally in the same boat. Nobody was checking for HBCU Go. Nobody's checking for Urban Edge Network. So the mere fact that one is even placed more other, that has nothing to do with anything. To me, it goes back to saying, how can a commissioner say, oh, I'm doing this deal because I want to deal with HBCU Go, when Grambling's saying, no, we don't want that deal because we want to go with Urban Edge Network. And then also, Miss Monique, is this: if you've already been pushed around by your conference in another deal, you're like, yo, I'm not getting nothing from this deal. Why would I think you're going to do me a better deal when it comes back around the second time? You got me once, I'm good. You're not getting me again. So Grambling says, I'm going to take it in my own hands, and I'm going to do something that I feel is beneficial for us.
Now, what I'm laying out here, Robert, and especially, and look, I guarantee you, lawyers will be involved in the Florida A&M situation. Even that's still confusing. Why did the athletic director leave? And then we're hearing, oh, well, he signed the deal and we weren't aware. But there's a signed contract with the university president's signature on it. So they were kind of aware of the deal. And in fact, if the deal they signed said that Peak Sports, they've got our digital rights, which means that Peak Sports can go out and sign a deal with anybody they want to for digital rights. Peak Sports also, by the way, is not a Black-owned company. Just want to let y'all know that. So it's like, wait a minute. So Peak Sports has a signed deal. Scotty, go ahead and pull it up. With the university president, general counsel, athletic director, but now he couldn't actually do it. I mean, you see it right here, y'all. This is the deal with Peak Sports. Signed January 14, 2021. You see right here, Peak Sports. You see the president. You see the athletic director. You see the VP for finance administration. These are all their signatures on the deal between FAMU and Peak Sports, which means that HBCU Urban Edge Networks, didn't have to go to FAMU to get that car wrapped with Florida A&M because of Peak Sports or collegiate licensing. And I'm gonna go back. Y'all, collegiate licensing is with them. I'm gonna show you in a second, just hold on. I'm just going to show you. And again, y'all, this is just for me. Here's the deal. This is what went national right here. You see right here. This I'm pulling up. Let me see. I can close. I'm trying to close this. I don't want this ad to show. So you can actually see the car. Okay. But give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up another site. So this here is the car, the Florida A&M wrapped car. Okay. That's it right there. That was the car that all of a sudden caused this thing to blow up. And folks were like, oh my God, Florida A&M were claiming they weren't aware of this car. Well, they didn't have to talk to y'all because they literally could go to collegiate licensing. Who, Robert? They've already given the rights to negotiate deals like this.
So, Roland, I got two points I want to make. One, kind of cycling back to Monique's point, I think it's a good idea. You should give each of us a show on the network where we can do our own thing. Monique has a big following. Scott got a following. Since we're pulling down millions and whatnot, I feel like we should get cut in.
I noticed you didn't bring up the expenses, but go ahead.
Hey, look, we'll get to the expenses.
I noticed y'all don't want to talk about the expenses.
Look.
I love when Negroes want to discuss revenue, but they never want to discuss expenses.
Look, this is no additional. Remember, Roland, go to my YouTube page right now. You can pull up 1,300 videos. We got this. We're going to negotiate thereafter.
Hold up, how many subscribers you got?
I think like 2,100. So, but
hold up, right there is what. So your ass got damn near as many videos as subscribers.
Look, I know. Look, the people love me. We've been.
The people don't love you if you got damn near as many subscribers as videos.
I get this voice to the people. More people need me. They need more of me. They need more of this every day, all day, all up in there.
And how you, Monique, and Scott are talking is how Negroes have the average of one employee because they ain't got proper revenue. But go ahead.
My other question is, how, under your plan, how would this affect the smaller schools? Because it's one thing for FAMU or for Southern, some of the larger schools, but what about the small schools?
It's not.
How would it affect them?
Again, this is what we are using the examples of the other conferences, and Scott will speak to this, and that is the television rights deals that other conferences sign are conference deals. Okay. So that's the conference deal, but the universities can do their own thing. Texas A&M can create its own digital network and derive revenue from its own digital network that ain't got nothing to do with the SEC. It is allowed. It is happening. What's happening at Jackson State right now with Dion, y'all didn't see the new locker room at Jackson State? That ain't SWAC money.
Whoa.
That's Dion going out, bringing in sponsors, bringing in revenue. Jackson State ain't sharing that money with Arkansas Pine Bluff or with Southern or Texas Southern University or Grambling or Bethune-Cookman or Florida A&M and the rest of them. And so you as a unit, listen, okay, here's a perfect example. Scotty, pull that quote back up from the SWAC conference. Since you want, I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. SWAC conference games cannot be streamed or broadcast on a national basis outside of the conference agreements. Okay, answer this. Well, how has Southern and Grambling negotiated their own TV deal since the 70s for the Bayou Classic? The Bayou Classic.
What does the conference agreement say? That's how. We're lawyers.
No.
So I'm going to be responsible and say, I have.
Wait. Again, I'm reading this. Go back to the quote, pull it up. It says, all conference games are restricted and can only be negotiated by the conference office. I know,
which means they give their okay.
No, Monique, not they give their okay. That the comp says only be negotiated. That's not given okay. That statement.
That's what negotiated means.
No, that statement means that the SWAC negotiates the TV deal.
That means when they negotiated the Bayou Classic or whatever they did, that the SWAC said, boom, because they got their take and they were good with it.
No, that's not what that says.
It has to be approved. By, that is, Robert, help me.
No. And you can beg for Robert's help all you can beg for Robert's help all you want to. But I'm
not begging for his help. I'm just looking for a cosign, thinking that the male energy would assist.
No, it ain't got. No, I'm telling you what the money shows. And say it again, Robert.
I think Monique's correct on this one.
But here's the deal: SWAC bylaws. All SWAC bylaws are saying is y'all negotiate y'all stuff. We get 60. Y'all keep 60. We get 40. But there seems to be an issue with the FAMU Grambling channels, which what they did. They're doing the exact same thing. And so this is where the
money that they're not getting a part of.
Huh?
We see exactly, it's too much money they're not getting a part of. They don't like the deal for whatever reason.
No, who is they?
They don't like the deal.
No, who is they?
They don't like the deal.
What deal?
I'm saying that the SWAC is saying we get to give our imprimatur. We get to say okay or not okay.
Actually, they don't.
They do not.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
They are saying that they get to give their okay. They are saying that there is nothing outside of the agreements and that they have to negotiate it. Now, if I'm
show me in their bylaws where they have to give the okay.
If I'm responsible, I would love for somebody to show me some damn bylaws.
Well, Google it.
Be more informed as I'm guessing about this.
Well, Google it.
I am saying, listen, I've used my phone till I had to turn it into a light. I've researched like I'm a freaking first-year law clerk tonight.
Well, you ain't researched deep enough because the bottom line is this here. The bylaws do not.
I'm in charge.
The bylaws don't give them the right.
If I'm in charge of negotiating your multi-million-dollar years that you're having with Roland Martin Unfiltered and the Black Star Network, then other than giving a show to Robert and to Scott and to me, I would just stamp it and say, your discretion, you do whatever it is you see best. But that would still be me being in charge of the negotiating.
But you ain't negotiating nothing.
Spirit. Okay.
You ain't negotiating. Hold on, Monique. You can't go from giving okay to I'm negotiating. Hell, giving okay ain't negotiating. Negotiating is you sitting your ass down, hammering the deal out. You sitting here, that's negotiating. You're simply saying, hey, we good. They ain't negotiating. Hell, look, if that's what y'all call negotiating, I ain't hiring you.
I am authoring somebody else to do it. No, the reason why we're trying to explain it is because clients do it with us all the time. The client is negotiating, but through Robert, through me, through Scott, through whomever. And the client did negotiate, but they named someone to do it for them. I am saying that the conference we're guessing, we're having a whole exploratory segment about this because we don't have no documents and it's making me itch. But
which is part of the damn problem. And Monique, the schools don't have the documents.
Roland, real quick.
Scotty, hold up, Monique, hold that point. Scotty, go ahead.
Real quick.
Monique, hold that point. Scotty, go ahead.
I want to help Miss Monique out just a little bit. So the Florida Classic is owned by the schools. The Florida Classic between Bethune and FAMU, the conference has nothing to do with that.
And those two are SWAC schools now.
They're SWAC schools. The State Fair Classic is not. It cannot be televised because of the promoter who they have to deal with. They don't even show that game on television.
Hold up, wait. That's Prairie View and Grambling, two SWAC schools. Go ahead.
Southern Heritage Classic. The Dion trying to get out that deal because a promoter negotiated with the two schools. So you're picking and choosing what you decide that you have full autonomy on what you're negotiating.
Sustained.
And it has to be.
Those sound like pre-existing contracts with grandfather clauses that are now being honored. That's all it sounds like. People are enforcing things that pre-existed, and I don't blame Prime. Prime is going to be Prime.
No, well, first of all, okay.
His money. No, he's not sharing his shine.
No. See, you're making a mistake. You're making a mistake because you saying it's Prime. Prime works for Jackson State. Jackson State's a member of the.
And he's bringing the money to Jackson State.
Hold on. Jackson State is a member of the SWAC conference. And
now,
no, not now. They've been a member for a long damn time. They ain't new. He knew.
What I am saying is the agreements regarding the games that were just mentioned existed prior to those schools becoming a part of SWAC.
No, you're wrong.
So I think
no, stop.
Listen.
No, Monique, stop. Monique, stop. You're wrong. Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman, they are new to the SWAC. Jackson State is not
talking about them.
Who are you talking about?
Them.
Jackson State, Grambling, and Southern ain't new.
I was talking about the contracts that were negotiated.
No. You said the school. No, that's not what you said. You said
no. I said pre-existing contracts.
You said the school.
You said schools.
Whatever.
You did say schools. I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, if I said schools, I was wrong. What I meant is pre-existing contracts by the promoters.
But hold up. But how is it pre-existing contracts when they were in the SWAC when the contracts were negotiated?
You know what, Roland? How the hell would I know when you got me on here talking about this bullshit with no contracts?
And that's the damn point we've been trying to tell you. The problem here is that we start, Monique, hello, guess what? Lightning just hit you in the head. We started.
And I asked for documents for an hour now.
Monique, we started the whole conversation off at the biggest problem here is you do not have enough transparency. Schools are in the dark. They don't know what's going on. You don't have the clarity. So you say, y'all good, but y'all not. Y'all good, but y'all not. Y'all good, but y'all not. And all we're saying is you might want to have shed some light on this so there's clarity. Scotty, you get the last word.
Listen, Miss Monique, you can do a FOIA request for me. I've been trying to do some FOIA requests all week long. Listen, I would love to talk to you offline.
I'd be happy to, Scotty.
Well, Monique, fine. I'm gonna send you Scotty's email because he hit Jackson State with one. They told him he wasn't specific enough in his FOIA request.
And when he comes back, we can put the FOIA request on the screen.
Okay, hold up. Good. Y'all can talk offline. Scotty, finish your point.
Listen, my point is this. The SWAC, and it's something that Mr. Martin said on my platform. You already have a foundation. You already have a base. You've been doing this for so long. These schools have been established for hundreds of years. So you have a natural base. You should have been priming your base to get ready to do our own thing. Why? Because when ESPN comes to you or Fox comes to you, you can say, listen, man, we doing this. So if you're not giving us this, if you're not giving us that, kick rocks. But when you don't have anything of your own, you're susceptible to anything. And then once you're used to scarcity, you're going to take anything that looks like it's a lifeline to get you out of with the hole that you're in. But now that schools are seeing that, hey, this media, this advertising, Black-owned media is powerful, as they call white guilt dollars. You know what I'm saying? We're possible to get these funds. Now schools are taking it in their own hands to start making their own deals because they don't trust the SWAC to do what's in their best interest. So we'll see going forward.
Bottom line is this here. Now I started this off this way. I'm going to close it out this way as well. Y'all, I keep telling y'all, this is about the money. It's about the money. And what I have been saying, we love to talk. What did Dr. King say April 3rd, 1968? Black people individually are poor. Collectively, we're wealthy. And what I am saying, and I do believe this, I believe that we sell ourselves short. I believe that there are people who are saying, hey, our games are being streamed by ESPN. That don't mean a damn thing if you broke. That means nothing.
It means something to the athletes.
No. Guess what? And guess what? That don't mean nothing. But Monique, that don't mean jack to the athletes if ain't nobody watching. So if you listen, Monique, your game ain't on ESPN 1 or 2 or Classic. It's on the ESPN streaming service. So what
about the HBCU Go to?
And what I'm trying to tell you is, and what I'm trying to explain to you is, what at the end of the day, how much are you getting? How many are watching? What are you getting in return? The reason the SWAC teams stopped playing in the playoffs is because they were going to the NCAA FCS playoffs and losing in the first round, had to pay their cost to get there. But it took the commissioner 10 years to convince the HBCU presidents to do the Celebration Bowl. And they getting $1 million a year. And so these schools were so hyped about, man, we want to be in the playoffs when they were losing money. And he was like, yo, we ain't making no money going to the playoffs. Why are we not doing a bowl game? Dennis Thomas told me last year it took him a whole decade to convince the presidents and the ADs why we keep losing money. And all I'm simply saying here is I need black people to stop being all about white validation and, oh, we on somebody's network. It comes down, how much are you getting paid? And if HBCU Go or Urban Edge Networks gonna offer you more money than ESPN paying you, damn been on ESPN. Because I showed you the Mississippi Valley State program, I showed you Grambling Stadium is jacked up. I can show you all these HBCUs. If you have been broke for decades, why do you want to be broke for the next decade? And I am arguing that these schools have value, have untapped value that they have not leaned in on because they do not have the right experts negotiating deals on their behalf. And you cannot have people negotiating deals on your behalf who don't know nothing about media rights. And that is what I'm saying. So I look forward to the SWAC coming on here. Commissioner McClellan, he was the AD at Prairie View. Know him well. Love them to come on because just like the SWAC, it's the same for our black churches, for our black organizations, our fraternities and sororities. We should be doing far better, but unfortunately, we got the wrong folk at the negotiating table. Scotty, I appreciate it. Tell people how they can watch your show.
You can find me on YouTube, OffScript. And you can catch me on, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, OffScript_viz and OffScript_TV. And real quick, shout out to my mom. I know she's watching. We're big fans, Roland. So shout out to my mom. I love you, Mom.
Black people gonna do their mama shout outs. And so Scotty's mama, I appreciate you watching. Thanks a bunch. All right, y'all.
All right, folks, back to that Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment.
Folks, Black Star Network.